Winds in the east, there's a mist coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put my finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen, all happened before. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son, the threads of their lives are all raveling undone. Something is needed to twist them as tight as a string you might use when you're flying a kite. Chim chimani, chim chim, chari chim charu.
Hurry up, Jane, let's run!
Come back here, you little blighters! You've got to do your lessons!
I can't do my lessons if I'm flying a kite. And besides, you can't make us, you're only our nanny!
Oi! Oh, not you two again. Come along home. Come on.
Good morning, Bert.
Morning, Miss Lark. And how's little Willoughby doing today?
Oh, very well. Thank you, Bert. Willoughby!
By Jove! Is that the beauteous Miss Lark I spy in the horizon?
Oh, Admiral. Willoughby!
Morning, Admiral. How's it looking?
Dark clouds gathering at number 17. Storm warnings overdue.
London's byways where I doffs me cap, this one's the hardest to find on a map. Cherry Tree Lane, as sweet as a song, but the nannies who come here, they don't stay for long. Chim chimani, chim chim, chari chim charu.
Katie Nana! Katie Nana! Katie Nana! Those little beasts have run away from me for the last time!
And who gets stuck with the children with no nanny in the house? Me, that's who!
I've said my neighbour's spirit, and that's all I'll say. I'm done with this house forever.
Well, good riddance then, and mind you don't stumble on the way out!
Katie Nana, where are you going? Katie Nana!
Is it any wonder, driven half demented by your children's pranks?
Do you really think I made another blunder? What on earth am I to say to Mr. Banks? George, dear, I'm feeling so bereft, dear. Another nanny's left, dear. Every nanny goes, we're unlucky, I suppose.
We are never going to find the perfect nanny.
Nonsense! Precision and order, that's all that I ask. Running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Cute! The simple truth is you've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and they've all been unqualified disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny is a stalwart our children would gain by having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane.
Of course, George, but...
So take control of situations. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role, they know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase!
I thought Katie Nana would be firm with the children. She always looked so cross.
Winifred never confused efficiency with a liver complaint. Umbrella!
If only we could find someone like your old nanny.
I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive can manage Miss Andrew's standards of efficiency. Besides, we can afford someone of her caliber.
Precision and order, he wants nothing less. It's like an army barracks.
Yes, and we're in the mess.
No wonder the nannies are driven insane. We're living in a madhouse in Cherry Tree Lane.
Now, Winifred, if you do want to please me...
You know I do, George.
Very well. Then place an advertisement in the Times, stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage.
We'd better give them ours before they make another mistake.
I would just that and...
Oh, what's that you're holding, dear?
We've written our own advertisement.
What on earth?
George, please. I think that we should hear it.
No, Winifred, none of your theatrics.
It won't hurt to listen.
If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, no warts. That's the part I put in. Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty, very sweet and fairly pretty.
Well, of all the ridiculous...
George, please.
Take us on outings, give us treats. Sing songs, bring sweets. Never be cross or cruel. Never feed us castor oil or gruel. Blech. Love us as a son and daughter. And never smell of barley water. I put that bit in too. If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We won't hide your spectacles so you can't see. Put toads in your bed, pepper in your tea. Hurry, nanny, many thanks, sincerely. Jane and Michael, thanks.
That's quite enough Tommy Rocks for one day. Will you please go upstairs and let me get to work?
They were only trying to help.
I won't tell anyone to make me late. Where's my hat?
George, dear.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
Hat?
I'm sure a bowler hat can't simply disappear.
Do you think they'll find a nanny who...
Oh, there it is.
doesn't run away?
He's brushed it with boot polish.
Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain.
Whilst I remain the sovereign, might choose a day when
You remain the sovereign.
I'll be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the sovereign
Of Cherry Tree Lane.
Good morning.
Yes?
I've come in answer to the advertisement.
What advertisement? We haven't placed any advertisement. Not yet.
George and Winifred Banks live here, do they not?
Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes?
And you are looking for a nanny.
Well, I suppose...
Very well then, now let's see. Play games all sorts, which I most certainly can. Take us on outings, give us treats.
Michael, it's our advertisement.
Rosy cheeks and fairly pretty. There's no objection on that score, I hope.
Ew. None at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
But Oh, take it up with Mrs. Banks. She manages all that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me. And don't forget the references.
I make it a rule never to give references.
But I thought it was usual.
A very old-fashioned idea to my mind. The best people never acquire them now.
Oh, you will have every third Thursday evening off from 5 until 9.
The best people get every second Wednesday off from 6 till 8, ma'am. And that is what I shall take.
Oh, I see. Well, it's all settled then.
As long as I am satisfied, I'll see the children now. Thank you.
Of course. You'll find they're very nice children.
You can't just hide how you don't
And now this is... Oh,
Mary Poppins. Jane, don't stare. And close your mouth, please, Michael. We are not a codfish. Well, best foot forward. Spit spot.
Mrs. Brill, we have a new nanny.
She passed her interview then?
Oh, I did.
Tidy, I must say. Tidier than I was expecting. Who's responsible for that?
Me. I am. I like to keep things neat.
Do you indeed? Well, I look forward to making use of that. If there's one thing I appreciate, it's a child whose word I can depend on. Oh? Who is he when he's at home?
That's Valentine. He's mine.
From a look on his face, I'm not sure he'd agree with you.
He's just a doll, and I don't want to play with him right now.
Treat him like that, and he might not want to play with you. Now, first things first. I always say the proper place to hang a hat is on a hat stand.
There's nothing in it. We'd better keep an eye on this one. She's tricky. Mary Poppins, how could you know what we wanted in a nanny when we made our list?
Your list? I'm not an item in the weekly shop. Thank you very much. Now, where is that plant? Cheeky. Ah, there it is.
Well, how did you come then? It's as if the wind just blew you here.
It did. Now, stand over there. Just as I thought. A noisy, mischievous, troublesome little boy.
You're making that up. A noisy, mischievous
Now you. Thoughtless, short-tempered, and untidy.
I don't believe you let...
By the time the wind has blown the weather vane around, I'll show you, if I can. No matter what the circumstance, for one thing I'm renowned. My character is spit, spot, spick, and span.
What about your measurement?
I'm practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect.
So people say. Each virtue virtually knows nobody. Each trait is great and patently sound. I'm practically perfect from head to toe. If I had a fault, it would never dare to show. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Ah, lovely. Both prim and proper and never too style. Well educated, yet willing to learn. I'm clean and honest, my manner refined, and I wear shoes of the sensible kind. I suffer no nonsense, and whilst I remain, there's nothing else I feel I need explain. I'm practically perfect in every way. Practically perfect, that's my forte. Uncanny nannies are hard to find. Unique yet meek, unspeakably kind. I'm practically perfect, not slightly soiled. Running like an engine that's just been freshly oiled. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Well, those are my credentials. Perhaps have a few questions.
Not temperamental.
Never.
Not grouchy or gruff.
Oh, the very thought.
Will you stay tender when the going gets tough?
Quite the contrary.
Do you read stories without a big fuss? Or have objections to playing with us?
Oh, I like games, but I choose them.
But that's not fair!
Some minor improvements may not go amiss, but at all times you must remember this.
You're practically perfect in every way.
I guarantee.
Practically perfect. We hope you'll stay.
No flies on me. Each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great
And patently sound.
patiently sound. Spit spot. Jane, doll's house, please. Michael, bag on floor, please. Thank you. I'll take that, thank you.
But it's not fair.
I didn't say I was fair, I said I was practically perfect. And here's my aim. By the time I leave here, you both will be the same. You'll be practically perfect.
Practically perfect.
You will be practically perfect in every Best foot forward, children. Spit spot.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim charoo. I does what I likes and I likes what I do. Today I'm a screever, and as you can see, a screever's an artist of highest degree. And it's all me own work from me own memory.
No, Lummy, not these again!
Oh, come on, Mr. Parkkeeper, it's just my pictures like it always is. There ain't no harm in them.
This is my park, and I say you're interfering with the public railing. I want them removed. You just watch it, that's all. You just watch it.
Stay right where you are. I'd know that silhouette anywhere. Mary Poppins.
It's nice to see you, Bert.
Oh, I must say you do look well.
Oh, will I?
How does he know you? He can't know you. You've only just arrived.
I wasn't born 1 minute before I walked into your house, Michael Banks. Have you met these two, Bert?
Oh, I've seen them running about chasing a kite.
It isn't a real one.
So, what are you up to?
Mary Poppins says it's a game. It's called A Walk in the Park.
Some game. I'd rather eat spinach.
Come on, Bert. You're due for a break, and you promised that you'd take me out once we met again. Or have you forgotten?
Of course I ain't, Mary, but...
Oh, dear. Is that all you've got? Never mind. My treat. And no one's charging for the trees in the sky, are they?
Mary Poppins, is he really coming with us?
Why shouldn't he?
Well, to start with, he's very dirty, isn't he? Father would never approve.
What's that?
You can't come with us. You're too dirty, and we don't want to go to the stinky park anyway.
Oh, yes, you do, because when you're on a walk with Mary Poppins, you'll go places you never dreamed of. And if she says it's a game, then she's got something in mind. You can be sure of that.
That's a picture of the park, isn't it? That's not the park. Not our park, anyways. Look, the trees are much brighter green, and the skies are quite a different blue.
I think you'll find it's just the way I've drawn it. All that it takes is a spark. Then something, plain as a park, becomes a wonderland. All you have to do is look anew, then you'll understand. Why, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Mary makes your heart so light.
Oh, really?
When the day is grey and ordinary, Mary makes the sun shine bright.
You do talk nonsense, Bert.
Oh, happiness is blooming all around her. The daffodils are smiling at the dove.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When Mary holds her hand, you feel
Bert.
so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band.
You've got enough brass for all of us.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love. Come along, you two.
Boring, just like all the nannies thinking. Parks are good for us. It's just statues, ducks, and grannies. I don't understand all the fuss.
Is she doing it to spite us?
We could lose it for a lot.
Perhaps it's all a plot.
I'll tell you what, she seems so different, but I bet she's not.
There is
Nothing to excite us in
the park. What was that?
You're quite wrong, you know.
What are you?
I'm Nelius. Surely you know that. Well, you've sat beneath me enough. I've waited over a century to take a walk on a sunny day like this.
Ain't it a glorious day, right as a morning in May?
I feel like I could fly.
Have you ever seen the grass so green or our blue sky?
Blue sky. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary.
Better days I've never known.
You could ask the passing statuary.
Nothing's ever set in stone.
More morning, Constable.
Morning, Mary.
You're tip-top from top to toe, if I may say so, Mary.
Thank you, Bert. And you may.
Each man with his dog will stand agog to see a statue take a gentle jog. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love.
It's a jolly holiday with you, Bert. Gentlemen like you are few. Though you're just a diamond in the rough, Bert, underneath your blood is blue. You'd never think of pressing your advantage. Forbearance is the hallmark of your creed. A lady needed fear when you are near. Your sweet gentility is crystal clear.
It's crystal clear.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with you.
It's a jolly holiday.
A jolly, jolly holiday with you.
Let's go for a jaunty saunter. We are bound to make a mark. Looks like all of us were born to take a promenade in the park.
Did that really happen? Yes! But how?
Why, Mary Poppins. Of course.
How do you know Mary Poppins?
Why, you see, she's an old friend of my father's.
Your father? You're a statue. You can't have a father.
Well, if that's true, then why do I miss him so much?
Isn't he one of the other statues?
Why? No, he lives very far away from here.
Do you really miss him?
Why, wouldn't you miss your father if you hardly ever saw him?
I'd have to think about that.
That's it! That's it! That's what it was!
What?
This blue's half empty! The statue's gone!
Do you mean you've lost your marbles?
This is your phone, ain't it? I knew we should have trouble when you first arrived. Now we've got a statue but it just... Oh, Lame.
Will you play with us again?
Well, of course I will. I'm not going anywhere.
Then we'll see you soon. Goodbye, Julius.
Goodbye.
so lonely. Couldn't his father ever come to stay?
Anything can happen if you let it.
How long will you stay?
We'll see.
You won't leave us, will you, Mary Poppins?
I'll stay until the wind changes. Run along then. Let's go. Come along.
Goodbye, Jane. Goodbye, Michael. Goodbye, Mary.
Good night, Bert.
Jane and Michael wish to say goodnight.
Inform them you've given me the message.
George, please.
Oh, Daddy, we've had a fantastic day. We sang with Busker, danced with the statue, and met Queen Victoria. You wouldn't have approved, but...
If you know that, then why did you do it?
Daddy, could I have a kite? A proper one?
Could you fly it?
You could always teach me.
When would I have the time to do that?
Daddy, who's the father of Neleus?
Would you please, let me get on. Good night.
Poor Michael. All he cares about is flying kites. And his beloved astronomy, of course.
I used to love astronomy when I was his age. But my nanny, Miss Andrews, soon beat it out of me.
I suppose we do need a nanny, George. Is it out of the question to do without one?
Don't be absurd. Of course we need a nanny. All the best people have nannies. So the wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how is your tea party coming along?
I don't know. It seems so odd to send out invitations to people I hardly know.
But they're people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged.
But that's the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard today from Clemmy Bunting. She's rehearsing a new play at the moment, and I
Winifred,
thought...
how many times must I tell you? I wish you to sever all connection with that part of your life.
George, I was an actress. Lots of people might find that interesting, though you always talk as if I should be ashamed of it.
Well, it's not exactly something to be proud of. Winifred, dearest, I'm only thinking of you. I want people to admire you, to respect you.
I know, George, but sometimes it's hard.
It's not hard. It's your job to be Mrs. Banks.
And what is your job?
To pay for everything.
What is it?
I was only going to kiss you.
Ew. Oh, all right. Are you going to say something to Mary Poppins about this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Very well. But just make sure she's doing things our way and not hers. What good are rules if you can bend them? We need a nanny who is disciplined and stern. With boys and girls, you don't befriend them. I fear that Mary Poppins has a lot to learn.
Being Mrs. Banks should be an easy role, and yet it's one which I don't seem too good at on the whole. I have a comfy home, I have a simple life, I have a name which tells the world I'm someone else's wife. Being Mrs. Banks, what does that entail? Facing tests of character, I always seem to fail. And as for his best people, well, I'd like to say No thanks. They're not exactly my idea of being Mrs. Bucks.
I still feel as if I'm dreaming. So much fun in just one day. When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. I'm sure Neelius is beaming. Let's hope she will stay. Good night, Neelius.
Let's hope she
will stay.
Decision and
Winds do change, tides do turn, sink or swim, see what you learn. Me, I was told when I was small, just learn a trade, so I learned them all. Jim, Jiminy, Jim, Jim, Jarry, Jim, Jaroo.
Morning, Bat. Swabbing the decks today, I see.
Gotta keep the street ship-shape, Admiral.
Tell me, how are things aboard number 17? All plain sailing with Mary Poppins, I trust.
Oh, there's some rough weather with every voyage, Admiral.
Ah, Miss Lark. What those children need is a touch of the cot and a night on the yardarm.
What those children need, Admiral, is a touch of happiness. Willoughby! Don't make the sandwiches too early. They'll get stale before the guests arrive.
Everything's under control, Mom.
What about the cake?
Cooling on a tray, waiting to be iced.
And you're quite sure you know how to ice it?
Quite sure, and just in case you're worried, I have not been exchanged by the fairies for a total nincompoop.
No.
No.
Well, I'll just go up and check the drawing room then.
I'd like to be helpful.
And I'd like to be rich, but the good Lord thought otherwise.
Mother wants you in the drawing room.
Well, she can't have me. I've got enough on my plate as it is.
She says you can tell Roberts and I what to do.
Does she indeed? Well, why don't I go have a smoke near the gasworks for good measure?
Oh, please, Mrs. Brill. I don't mind. Honest.
All right. I will give you one task and one task only, and so help me if you get this wrong. I'll swing for you and sing while they pull the lever.
What is it, Mrs. Brill?
Put the icing tools next to the cake. Make sure you bring a bowl of hot water to warm them. I will make the icing as soon as I'm back.
Icing tools, cake, hot water. I will make the icing as soon as I'm back.
Now, can you manage that?
Is that all?
For you, yes. For me, no. Once the cake's done, I have the sandwiches next because Madam wants them fresh. So I can't start them unless there's no time to finish them. I swear, a slave in ancient Rome was on a pleasure cruise compared to my life in this house.
Well, don't just start there, Roberts and I.
Right. No. a bowl for the hot water.
Michael, why don't we make the icing? Because we don't know how.
Don't be so feeble. Get the eggs. Mrs. Brill can do it. It can't be that hard.
Are there eggs in icing?
They're on mine.
I don't think that Mrs. Brill will thank you.
Then she will be guilty of great ingratitude.
Is it supposed to look like this?
Well, it doesn't look like that when Mrs. Brill does it.
Don't be impertinent and get me the cake.
Honestly, Miss Jane, I was only trying to be helpful. If you would just... Bubbles! Bubbles! Hot! Hot! A cuckoo clock! When did we get a cuckoo clock?
I don't think that will be necessary, ma'am.
How can you be so unkind when you know how important my party is to me? You deserve some very nasty medicine. Just you wait till bedtime.
Oh, I don't think we should wait till then, ma'am. Why not go and freshen up upstairs? We'll clean up, won't we?
But we're not ill. I won't take it and you can't make me.
In that, as in so many things, your information is faulty. Open.
But it's strawberry ice.
Now you.
Sure, I like strawberry ice.
I'm not sure I care. Open.
It's lime cordial.
Now off we go, you two. Michael, I know you like to keep things neat. Jane?
I told you she was tricky.
Must we? Can't Robson and I do it when he wakes up? He's a servant.
With that attitude, you'll get through a lot of staff before you're very old. Besides, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap. The job's a game, and every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Oh, hello there. The honeybees that fetch the nectar from the flowers to the cove never tire of ever buzzing to and fro, because they take a little nip from every flower that they sip, and hence they find their task is not a grind. For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Spitspot, tidy this table up, please. Spitspot. Rum punch, my favorite.
Poppins, you're a miracle worker. How did you get them to do it?
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine?
Go down, medicine
go down.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
So, just a spoonful sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine go down.
Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. In the most delightful way. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. In the most delightful way. In the most delightful way.
We'll be off now, ma'am. Come on, our children, best foot forward.
Sorry, Mum. Apparently this came this morning and Robert and I forgot to give them to you. They're apologies, Mum, from your guests. They're not coming. None of them.
Oh, do you think we chose the wrong day?
No, Mum. I think you chose the wrong people.
In a most delightful way.
Mary Poppins, where are we going today?
I thought we could play our next game.
What game?
A visit to the bank.
That's not a game. Did Daddy agree? If he did, he must put the idea into his head somehow.
What an impertinent thing to say. Me, putting ideas into other people's heads. Really?
Precision and order. Causing a wheel. Opening a ledger. Closing a deal. Prudent investment. Financial sense. A perfect ray of sunshine. Count shillings and pence.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning! Great men have dreams of power and position, and it's our job to back them to the hilt. For shrewd investment and advice, they'll pay our price. The bedrock on which banks are built. Banks, a word. I see Havon Hustler is coming in again today. Have you made your decision?
I believe so, sir.
Good. Be sure it's the right one.
Every transaction, credit or debt, sheets are all well balanced, targets are met.
Herr Banks, what objections can you have? My security is more than adequate, and Latin America is an expanding market. What is the matter? Have you no courage?
Mr. Von Hustler, what I haven't been able to grasp is what exactly is your final product?
What do you think? Money, of course!
Yes, money, but I wonder, making money out of money, is that enough?
Is you man enough to be a banker? Ein man has dreams of building an empire to make his name in many distant lands. and in the new world I am told will soon strike gold. Let's seize our chance with both our hands.
Ceci the market, limit the risk. Little room for error. Business is brisk, 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 brisk.
Have you come to your decision, Mr. Banks? There's a town of good people whose future depends on you.
I know that, but
Give us this chance, you won't regret it. The factory could be running in weeks and expanding before the year's out. Please, Mr. Banks, I'd give it everything I've got. Believe me.
I do believe you, Mr. Northbrook, and I've tried to find a way, but there is just not the collateral.
What about my workforce? Decent men who want better lives. They are my collateral. My men have dreams to earn an honest living. A wife and kids, a home to call their own. If you'd invest in us today, it paves the way. I promise we'd repay the loan.
Daddy! Daddy! Hello, Daddy!
What on earth are you doing here? Can't you see I'm busy?
No, we're done. No man should be too busy for his own children. And what are you here for, young man? Some money as well?
Hardly. What would they need money for?
Well, it's never too early to learn its value.
I know the value of this. 6 pence.
That is its worth. Its value is in how you spend it. Do good and may you have good luck.
And what do you say to Mr. Northbrook?
Thank you.
I'll wait outside.
What is the meaning of this? Really, Mary Poppins, I am not without a sense of humor.
Aren't you, Daddy?
No, I am not. When I was a little boy, I would never have dared interrupt my father.
Were you ever a little boy?
Of course I was. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way, and he'd have been very annoyed if she hadn't.
What about your mother?
I shouldn't think I saw either of them more than once a week.
Didn't they mind?
Mind, they were glad to be rid of me.
Then who kissed you goodnight? Miss Andrews?
Certainly not! There was no time for hugs and kisses, all that soppy nonsense. What's the matter?
Poor Daddy.
Poor? What do you mean, poor? That's what made me the man I am. Eh, Mary Poppins?
Yes, I'm afraid it did.
That's enough. You've seen why I work, and I have a great deal to do.
When you invest the bank's money, what are you looking for, Daddy? A good man or a good idea?
I suppose I should say it's a good idea, but a good man is much rarer and much more valuable.
Come along, children.
Mr. Von Hustler, I've considered your arguments, but I'm afraid my answer is no.
So you don't recognize a good idea when you see one?
Perhaps not, but I recognize a good man when I see one.
You will regret this, Herr Banks!
A man with dreams that life hasn't broken. A man with hopes, ambitions to fulfill. A man you're certain at first glance deserves a chance.
Now, Mr. Northbrook, when exactly could the factory open?
Thank you, sir. You won't regret it.
Tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
Look, there's that horrible old bird woman.
Don't point. And for your information, she's not in the least horrible.
But she's just a bundle of rags.
When will you learn to look past what you see?
Early
each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bad woman comes in her own special way to the people she calls.
Come buy my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do. The young ones are hungry, their nests are so bare, all it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies.
What are you doing? Give me my sixpence. What a waste.
That's a matter of opinion. Here, one back, please. Save your sixpence. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see them, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag,
Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
All gone.
Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
You don't say. Well, here she comes now, you can tell her yourself.
Isn't that Miss Lark's dog, Willoughby?
Don't interrupt when someone's barking. You were saying? Really? Well, if she keeps wandering off, perhaps it would be better if you kept her on a lead.
Willoughby!
Ah, look, here she comes now.
Oh, Willoughby, it's all right. Mummy's here. Hello. Come. Come. You know, sometimes you'd almost think he could talk.
Bert, can Willoughby really talk?
Of course you can. Getting him to stop's the problem.
How do you learn to talk, dog?
How do you think? Master the grammar
Practice when you can.
and avoid mongrels.
Far too much slang.
Now, come along. I can't stand here all day talking shop.
Talking shop? What a silly expression.
There's nothing silly about it in the least.
What do you buy in a talking shop?
Conversations, of course.
Well, I've never seen a talking shop.
Well, there is only one, and it belongs to Mrs. Corey.
Who's Mrs. Corey?
Who's Mrs. Corey? Mrs. Corey is older than anyone in the world. She talked to William before he went to conquering, to Vlad before he went impaling, and to Alexander when he weren't so great.
We'll have to call to shop in the park.
There is no shop in the park.
Remember, anything can happen if you let it. Come along.
congratulations.
Good day to you, Mrs. Corey.
Well, well, if it isn't Mary Poppins with Jane and Michael Banks.
She knows us.
And how is poor little Georgie?
Who?
Georgie Banks, your father. He used to give his nanny the slip and come here into my shop in secret.
It couldn't have been the same George Banks. That would have been over 40 years ago, and no one can remember back that far.
Listen, dearie, I remember everything. I remember Georgie used to love my gingerbread. I wonder if we've got any today. Annie, Fanny, look lively.
Yes, Mother.
There you are. Gingerbread pieces with gingerbread stars. Georgie always saved his stars. Now, Mary Poppins, what can I do for you?
Well, I did want an ounce of conversations.
I'm out of conversations, and I'm right out of words too. I've had a lot of chatterboxes in here today. But let me see what we have left. Oh, I do have some letters and a little bit of a back chat. An ounce, you say? Brilliant! That'll be 15 letters. Go on, take your pick.
Jane, you can choose 7.
I got a D, G-R-U-C-L, and I. They're no good. You can't make a conversation out of them.
Your turn, Michael. 7 more.
I have A, F, S, E, T, P, and O.
And I'll choose an X. Now, what word can we make?
Well, I see dog and cat.
Routoplex! That's 9.
Lapatiferous. 11, nearly there.
What one bird?
Those don't count, you made them up.
And just where do you think words came from in the first place? Someone had to make them up.
You know, we can always use the same letter more than once. Let me see. Super, Cali, fragilistic, expialidocious.
That's not a word.
Of course it's a word. Unless I'm very mistaken, I think it's going to prove to be a rather useful one. When trying to express oneself, it's frankly quite absurd to leaf through lengthy lexicons to find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. You need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious.
Diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, 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 diddle-diddle-diddle-lie.
When Stone Age men were chatting, simply grunting would suffice.
Oh, if they heard this word, they might have used it once or twice.
I'm sure Egyptian pharaohs would have grasped it in a jiff. Then every single pyramid would bear this hieroglyph. Oh, supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Say it and wild animals may not seem so ferocious.
Add some further flourishes, it's pseudo-cuckoo-cautious.
Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, 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 diddle-diddle-diddle-lie.
The Druids could have carved it on their mighty monoliths.
The ancient Greeks, I'm certain, would have used it in their myths.
I'm sure the Roman Empire only entered the abyss because those Latin scholars never had a word like this.
Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious.
If you say it softly, the effect can be hypnosis.
Check your breath before you speak in case it's halitosis.
Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, diddle-I,
Of course, you can say it backwards, which is so good a liar, secondly garfle creepus.
She may be tricky, but she's bloody good.
So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just sum it up this word and then you've got a lot to say.
Pick out those 18 consonants and 16 vowels as well, and put them in an order that is very hard to spell.
S
S
U
U
P
P
E
E
R
R
C A L I F R A G I L
ISTICEXPIALIDOCIOUS.
Smarty pants. Here we go.
Supercalifragilistic, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always have to notice. Supercalifragilistic,
Supercalifragilistic.
supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious.
Here we go.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always have precocious. Supercalifragilistic.
Docious Sally, expialistic.
Supercalifragilistic. Expialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
The winds may blow, but who's to know exactly what they're bringing? Good news or bad, happy or sad, the pendulum keeps swinging.
Right, put the steps there and stand back. You are never to come near that vase, no one else but me neither. That is a heirloom.
Heirloom?
Yes, and while I do this, stay completely immobile.
Immobile.
Do not move a muscle.
Muscle.
Do not breathe. Do you hear me?
I might as well be dead.
Don't give me ideas.
A game is played, a change is made, but still the road is long. And though they might yet fly a kite, sometimes the wind's too strong.
George, what's happened? Are you ill?
No. Should I be?
Of course not. Only, why on earth are you home so early? Is everything all right?
No. Everything's all wrong.
My dear, what is it?
Well, if you must know, I refused some German chap a loan. It seems he went to our chief rival. They gave him the money and now it's turned into a gold mine.
Well, they can't expect you to get it right every time.
Can't they? That's exactly what they expect.
Supercalifragilistic, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough...
That is more than loud enough! Go to your room!
But we were just...
I don't care what you adjust! Upstairs, now! Where's my briefcase? I put it here. Michael? Jane? Will you give it to me? Must I put up with this behavior? You're their mother. Why can't you do something?
Well, I can try not shouting for a start.
Mary Poppins, you are here to teach these children manners. And just look at them. They're a bunch of little savages. If I had my way, you would be out of this house by...
You're tired. Mary Poppins, don't bring the children down tonight. Mr. Banks is quite exhausted. Perhaps you could keep them occupied?
I hope you haven't forgotten, ma'am. Tonight's my evening out.
What? Oh, I'm afraid I had forgotten. I suppose the best people wouldn't ask you to change your plans?
No, ma'am. They wouldn't.
But that's not fair! Daddy loses his temper and we're shut up in the nursery. Daddy is mean and rotten and I hate him!
Jane, take that back this instant. I will not have you criticize your father.
Why not? He criticizes you. Last week he said you're neither use nor ornament.
How dare you?
I've heard him say it, and so did you.
Sometimes people say things they don't mean. Take the children upstairs, please, Mary Poppins. George?
What is it now?
I thought you might like to talk about it.
What would be the point?
Perhaps I can help.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm serious, George. If you have troubles, I'd like to share them.
Don't worry. You will. The fact is, I've been suspended without pay until they decide what to do with me.
Twists and turns, ups and downs. One moment smiles, next moment frowns. But bad-tempered faces had better change quick, 'cause if the wind changes, the face might just stick. Chim chimani chim chim, chari chim charu.
It's not fair. You're going out and we get left on our own.
You've plenty of toys to play with.
I don't want to. They're boring.
They might say the same about you.
Why does Daddy get so cross? Fathers are supposed to look after their children, not yell at them all the time.
Maybe. But have you ever asked yourself, who looks after the fathers when things go wrong?
The mothers, I suppose.
Not the children.
Wouldn't that be rather upside down?
Sometimes families are upside down. For a while, anyway.
I don't want to be in an upside-down family. I wish you could just run away. Why don't you? Somebody might adopt you. But you'd miss me. No, I wouldn't. I could have all your toys. No, you could not. Yes, I could, and I jolly well would. Give that to me. Oh, now look what you've done.
There is no way to treat Valentine. What's he ever done to you?
He's a doll, silly. He couldn't do anything.
That's all, you two. Now into bed at once.
But we haven't had our milk.
There'll be no buts and no milk either. If you can't be good, you may as well be sorry.
Wish you'd just leave us alone.
Be careful of the things you wish for. Poor Valentine. Go inside and make yourself presentable.
Well, I won't go to bed, and you can't make me.
In that, as in so many things,
Your information
is faulty. Playing the game, taking your turn. Some children lose, some children learn. Treat the toys nicely and maybe they'll treat you the same. Playing the game. Are you feeling any better, Valentine?
Much better, thank you.
Tempers are frayed, tempers are lost. Nobody stops to think of the cost.
I tore my arm again.
Oh dear, children who lose their temper will lose everything else in the end. Is that better?
Oh, much.
They're not playing the game, not playing fair, not with the doll, nor with the bear.
Thrown on the floor and neglected, and they were to blame. Playing the game.
Oh, please tell them, Mary Poppins.
Why don't you tell them?
What's going on? What's happened to all the toys? Made them go small and get back in their box.
Why? You've hurt them and called them names. Now it's their turn. Summon the toys. Now is the time to tell of your woes, to tell of their crime. Crime. Come one, come on, enter the fray. They need to hear what you have to say.
Those girls and boys. Treat us this way. Don't deserve fun.
Don't deserve fun.
So why should we stay? They stamp and shout. Create such a fuss. They need
Well,
You think you know everything.
I couldn't agree more. Jane?
They're our toys and we'll do what we like with them. So there.
So there, indeed. Playing the game, having a ball. Those who won't play shan't play at all. Is that you, Bert?
Where the smoke is all billowed and curled, between pavement and stars is a chimney sweep's world, where there's hardly no day nor hardly no night. There's things off in shadows and off ways in light, on the rooftops of London. Phew, what a sight.
Oh, it's your sweep now, are you?
Best view in the world, eh? And you get to see it. The birds, the stars, and the chimney sweeps. Nothing to beat it, eh? Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you may think of sweeps on the bottommost rung. Though I spend me time in the ashes and smoke, in this all wide world there's no happier bloke. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry, a sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheroo.
Good luck will rub off when he shakes hands with you.
Or blow me a kiss.
But
And that's lucky too. You're going then?
the winter's changed.
Ah, but they're good kids, Mary.
Would I be bothering with them if they weren't? But I can't help them if they won't let me, and no one is so hard to teach as the child who knows everything.
So?
So, they got to the next bit on their own.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry.
When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Goodbye, Bert.
Chim, chim, chim chim cherry. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Nowhere is there a more happier crew than them's what sings chim chim cherry, chim charoo. Chim chimney, chim chim cherry, chim.
Cheery up, Bert. Look after them for me.
Us. Oh, yes, she can. And she's taken all our toys. What does the note say?
What in the name of heaven are you two doing out here? Where's Mary Poppins?
Gone.
Gone? Well, if that doesn't take the blooming biscuit.
Mrs. Brill, what does wire mean?
Why?
Because that's what she's written in this note. Dear Jane and Michael, keep playing the games. Au revoir, Mary Poppins.
Au revoir. It's French, I know that. Does it mean God bless you or is it good luck? Oh, no, I remember now. It means till we meet again. Now, come inside before you two catch your death.
lovely weather!
Mrs. Brill, is the nursery tidy?
As tidy as I can make it, Mom.
If you knew how hard it was to track her down.
Really, Mum? Fancy that. They get through nannies for a flippin' pastime. Now when one returns, they make this fearless fuss. Never liked her much when she was here the last time.
At least she makes life easier for both of us.
Mrs. Brill, it is her, isn't it?
Well, I don't know who else.
Why is it such a secret? Think that she's returned to get things back the way they were.
The note said, till we meet again.
I just know it must be her.
Oh my goodness, she'll be here any moment. Now where is George? George, dear, you're going to be surprised.
Winifred, you know very well I hate surprises at the best of times.
Oh, not this one. Oh, George, I do believe you're going to be proud of me for once. Precision and order, it's perfectly true. Can really make a difference. I found her for you. Clear thinking, sound judgment, and now we'll regain a home you can be proud of in Cherry Tree Lane. Hurry up, everybody, into the hall. I wanted to find everything. Spit, spot, spick, and span. Our sense of excitement is hard to contain. Order is returning. Wonder is returning. Someone is returning to Cherry Tree Lane.
Good morning.
The Holy Terror!
Mr. Andrew, it's so lovely to meet you at last. I do hope you had a good journey.
It was thoroughly unpleasant. I never enjoy travel. You must be poor Georgie's wife. Your flower beds are disgracefully untidy. Take my advice, plant evergreens, or better still, have nothing there at all. Just a plain cement courtyard.
But, Miss Andrew, I am so fond of flowers.
Then you are a very silly woman. Where did George go?
I'm afraid he had an urgent appointment.
For which no doubt he was late as usual. It's not much of a house, is it?
We like it.
Then it doesn't take a lot to keep you happy. Look at the dust! There and there! Filth!
Well, we are rather short-staffed at the moment.
Hasn't anyone ever cleaned those curtains?
Now, just a minute.
Ah, you must be the children. Pity. I don't suppose you know who I am.
Yes, we do. You're the Holy Terror.
Impudent boy! You're Jane, I suppose. Why aren't you wearing stockings?
I don't like them.
Tut! What's manners? I can see there's not a minute to lose. These children have been spoiled. I've arrived here just in time. By chance I brought the punishment that best befits the crime. Brimstone and treacle and cold liver oil, liberal doses of each. These are the treats for which children recoil, the lessons I'm going to teach. Just follow my model and don't mollycoddle, it may lead the irksome to irk. So seek satisfaction from punitive action. Brimstone and treacle will work. Open!
Bad it smells.
Worse.
Well,
Open! Brimstone and treacle and carbolic soap. These are the tools of my trade. With spoons full of sugar, you don't have a hope of seeing that changes are made. Where manners are chronic, my tincture's the tonic that's certain to wipe off a smirk. So pour out her ration in matronly fashion. Brimstone and treacle will work. Your son will go to boarding school at once. As for the girl, I shall take charge of her myself. I won't stand for whining or whinging or whimpering, crying or lying or sobbing or simpering. I feel it's clear that in these two such bad habits lurk. First threaten to throttle, then uncork the bottle. Brimstone and treacle will work. Now show me to my room. Brimstone and treacle.
She can't stay. They'll have to dismiss her. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm disappointed. Truly I am. I really thought it was going to be, yeah, you know her with the umbrella.
what are we going to do? The only thing we can do. Run away.
Easy now. Your old friend ain't gonna hurt you.
Oh, Bert, it's you. You're filthy.
Perhaps a smudge or two. But just so happens today, I'm a chimney sweep. So what's happening? Who's after you?
The nastiest nanny in the world.
The nastiest nanny in the world? Well, you two ought to know. You've been through enough of them. She really bad as all that?
She looks like something that would eat its young. Miss Andrew is Daddy's nanny. Which explains a lot. Poor Daddy. Ever since he stopped working, he just sits and mopes. And Mary Poppins used to say he needed our help. But now it's too late.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I've got an idea. How about we start things off with a bit of a shake for good luck?
Why would shaking hands with you bring us luck?
Hasn't anyone ever told you? It's good luck to shake hands with a sweep.
What do you do if you want some luck?
Well, shakes hands with myself, I suppose. Now, what have we got here?
Michael, look! It's a real one! What's the matter? You've always wanted to fly a proper kite. I've always wanted to fly one with Daddy.
Of course you have. But you gotta get some training in. And when you do, you'll make him the proudest father in the country.
Do you really think so? You're not just saying that.
Did I say country? The whole blooming empire, more like. with tuppence for paper and string. You can have your own set of wings. With your feet on the ground, you're a bird in flight, with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Ah, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. Try again.
Try again.
What is this? What is this? We don't allow litter here.
It isn't litter, it's a kite.
Oh, what kite is it? My word it is. I've been flying a kite since I was a boy. Now we'll wind her up, give her a run, and away she'll go.
I want to do it.
Oh, but you'll let me help you, won't you? Seeing as I haven't flown a kite since I was a boy.
Oh, all right.
When you send it flying up there, all at once you're lighter than air. You can dance on the breeze over houses and trees with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Ah, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. Reel it in.
I can't, it's stuck. I'll help. I'll
Yeah, you can do it. Oh, one more time.
I knew it, Elmer and Poppins, I knew it. I knew you'd come back.
Don't squeeze my sardine in a tin. And where are your coats?
We didn't have time to put them on.
And why not, may I ask?
Because we've run away.
Have you indeed?
Oh, it's been so awful since you left. Now Miss Andrews come and Daddy's ruined, and we never got to help him like you wanted us to.
Oh my, but your life is a tragedy. Now, let's go home. And don't dawdle.
But she's there. She came this morning as a surprise for Daddy.
Did she? Well, then maybe I'll be a surprise for her. That was a lovely greeting, Bert.
Thanks, Mary. Welcome. You're a sight for sore eyes.
You really are. Welcome back, Mary Poppins.
I told you they was good kids, Mary.
And I told you they were worth bothering with.
Aren't you going to shake hands with Bert for good luck?
Now see here. It's against the regulations coming down from the sky like that. And where from, eh? I'd like to know where from.
If I were a park keeper, I should straighten my cap and button my coat.
Aren't you going to shake hands with Bert for luck?
No,
Why not? We have.
I don't need any luck, thank you.
Illusions may shatter, but memories stay. The things that really matter I lost on the way the sovereign, the master, and long may he reign. The famous good for nothing of Cherry Tree Lane.
They'll find the way home, Mum. Let's face it, they've had enough practice.
But this time they're not being naughty. I'm afraid I've made them unhappy. I'm afraid I've made everyone unhappy.
They'll turn up. I promise.
George, dear, I know it hurts your pride, dear. But you can't just run and hide, dear. Why can't you see that I'm here and I am on your side? Whenever you spoke of Miss Andrew, you showered the woman with praise. But now that I've met dear Miss Andrew, there are one or two things I'd rephrase. To think you were raised by that monster and carried that burden through life. If only you had seen that you could share it with your wife. Being Mrs. Banks, it's easy to forget the way I felt that summer's day, the day that we first met. Being Mrs. Banks, being kissed by you, a man of dreams who made me feel that wishes could come true. And now, although you're lost, it's time that we closed ranks. I'll fight for the man who needs freeing, the real you who no one is seeing, and you'll find a way of just being Mr.
Perhaps she's killed everyone. Perhaps they're all dead.
Not like that, you stupid boy!
Well, they're not all dead. What's that noise?
It's a bird. I might have known. Did she? Well, frankly, that's not a surprise. Locked in this cage and not free in the skies for 2 years. How shameful. Yes, of course, that's a field I know well. An hour no longer, your wings will grow stronger. Once you are free from this cell.
What kind of bird is it?
A lark. You are seeing a lark in a cage for the first time and the last. My pleasure. Oh, don't mention it.
I'm going downstairs to fetch Caruso, my love. You stay there and clean the grate again. So, you've decided to come crawling back, have you? Well, I think we know what's needed now. Brimstone and treacle, my favorite liquor. That will make runaways stop quicker and forced to drink every last drop.
Is this what you're looking for?
Who are you?
I'm Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, but you left without notice.
And I've come back without notice.
I see. And what do you expect me to do?
Pack!
Pack! You insolent young person, how dare you speak to me this way? Silly little girl with your newfangled methods. I bring up children so they know their place. Standing for tradition, I govern my charges.
Mishandled charges blow up in your face.
I brought up their father.
Well, that I don't doubt. You must be so proud at the way he turned out.
A shining example, a pillar,
a post. Nay, all have their problems, but him more than most.
Caruso! Where's my leg? Caruso! You let my little log out of its cage. Now you shall bear the full brunt of my rage. Brimstone and treacle for you. Brimstone and treacle.
Just a spoonful of sugar.
Brimstone and treacle.
Just a spoonful of sugar.
Brimstone and treacle.
Just a spoonful of sugar. Because you've met your match. Brimstone and treacle.
Brimstone and treacle.
Brimstone and treacle.
Brimstone and treacle.
Michael? Michael? Jane? Is that you? Oh, thank heavens! Oh, but you're very naughty to go running off like that, and I should be as angry as anything. If I weren't so pleased to see you. Where's Miss Andrew?
She's gone.
Gone? Why?
She didn't give a reason, ma'am.
How peculiar. So, Mary Poppins, if you're back, are you going to stay?
I'll stay for as long as necessary, ma'am.
Because last time you left without a word of warning. How will I know you won't do that again?
You don't.
Oh.
Excuse me, Mum.
Oh, Constable, I'm so sorry I bothered you, but it's quite all right. They're back and...
Oh, not all of them, Mum.
What?
We found this one wandering in the park. Good night, Mum.
George.
Where is she?
Miss Andrew, she left.
Left? But how?
She might have thought we were rude.
Rude? To Miss Andrew? Well, I can't forgive it, but I'll try to forget it. In fact, I'd have given you a sixpence if I had one.
George, you haven't noticed. Mary Poppins is back.
Is she? Mary Poppins? Well, well, I wonder if I might have a word. There's no point in beating around the bush. Things have not gone well for us since you left us, and...
About my wages, sir? If you don't mind, I won't take any just now. I should prefer to let them accrue.
But, Mary Poppins, if only you knew how many payments were accruing as it is.
Is everything settled?
It is. Now I must get started. Jane, Michael, spit spot. Are the drains playing up or is Mrs. Brittle cooking?
Come along, darling. You've made a wrong decision. But how bad is that? After so many years of good service, what's the worst that could happen?
Winifred, if I'm to be dismissed by the bank, we'll be destitute. The house will be repossessed, the servants will leave, and we'll be outside sitting with the children on the frosty curbside.
Well, we'll still have what really matters. The children and each other.
Practically perfect, and yet I'm sure there's still room for improvement. A few games more.
Does that look it new?
And if it is,
What's inside it?
a portrait.
Whose?
You'll know when the time comes and not before.
We're all going to stay this time, aren't you, Mary Poppins?
I'll stay till the chain breaks.
What chain? Where?
Michael, you must be careful. You never know what might happen on a fireplace.
Michael! Michael! Come down!
Jane, you must be careful.
Mary Poppins! Mary Poppins! What's happening? Mary Poppins! Mary Poppins! Hello there. Bert, what are you doing up here?
And where else should a chimney sweep be? A chimney swept, a secret kept, up here above the gables. Another world to be unfurled. It ain't just myths and fables. A chimney stack looks cold and black beneath the twilight sky. But never fear, there's warmth up here. Perhaps you'll find out why.
Like? That's better.
The world is awfully big, isn't it?
And what does that tell you?
That we are awfully small and unimportant?
Oh, speak for yourself.
Not us so much, but our troubles. They seem so big down in the nursery, but up here...
That's more like it. Troubles are never so bad when you look at them from a little higher up. And just remember, there's plenty of folks ready to help you, should you need.
Who?
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry. Now guardian angels, you don't often say. They're not highfalutin, not grand, nor aloof, no. They're covered in soot and they're up on your roof.
Chim, chim, cherry.
See? It's true.
Brush away the dirt and soot. Brush away your tears.
Cobwebs that aren't swept away.
Hang around for you.
In all weathers of all hours, we can see for miles. Our idea of heaven is our night out on the tiles. We may look on one, may look on motley crew, smashed with heart and stars.
Step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. We will step in time. Over the rooftop, step in time. Over the rooftop, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Over the rooftop, step in time.
Step in time. Watch me step, but step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Watch me step, but step in time. Please step in time. Please step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Think your knees up, step in time.
Step in time, parenthood's the same. Never miss the chance to get it right.
Don't you seem a perfect crime? Don't you seem ashamed? When the steps aren't going as smoothly as they might.
That's me step in time. That's me step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. That's me step in time.
if you need us,
If you need us, if you don't.
Does it make a
Does it make much odds?
We'll be watching
We'll be watching over you. Brushes, brooms, and brushes, brooms.
And rods. Here we go, boys.
Over the rooftops. Over the rooftops. Over the rooftops. Over the rooftops. Over the rooftops, stepping time. Over the rooftops, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a wrong.
Over the rooftop, step in time.
Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Think you ever step in time. Think you need a step in time. Think you need a step in time. Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Think you need a step in time. Step in time. Step, 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 step in time. Step, step, step. Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Think you need a think you need a think you need a think you need a step, 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 step in time.
You
Step in time.
shout it louder.
Step in time. Step, 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 step. Down the chimney, step in time. Down the chimney, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Down the chimney, step in time. Nursery, step in time. Back to the nursery, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Back to the nursery, step in time.
What is this? What is all this?
Special delivery for George Banks, Esquire.
Special delivery?
Time to go now. Good night, Governor.
Good night, Governor, step in front. Good night, Governor, step in front. Never need a reason, never need a wrong. Good night, Governor, step in front.
Good night, Governor.
Cheerio, Governor.
Not so fast! Upstairs, now! Jane, you too. Mary Poppins, would you be good enough to explain?
First of all, I would like to make one thing quite clear.
Yes?
I never explain anything.
The chairman wants to see me at the close of business. Tonight.
Tonight? Well, I'm going to come with you and jolly well give your chairman a piece of my mind.
That would only make matters worse. We might as well face it. In just a few hours, I will have joined the ranks of the unemployed.
George, are you quite sure?
Quite sure. So we better make some plans. In fact, I believe the time has come.
Do you mean your mother's vase? Won't you miss it terribly?
Needs must, my dear. We always said we would save it for a rainy day, and tomorrow it looks set to pour.
George, do be careful. Mrs. to the kitchen, shall we? You better sit down.
Mrs. Brill, is that dinner cooking?
Oh, don't you start. I've opened all the windows.
I was only going to say that it smells delicious.
It's like the whole world has gone upside down.
Well, I'll be. So that's where I put them.
What are they?
Stars, gingerbread stars I hid once from my nanny. I always knew I put them somewhere. The trouble was, I couldn't find them either.
They're very bright.
Aren't they? Even after all this time.
Here. Let me give you a hand.
I used to dream I would learn everything there was to know about the stars. Funny, I haven't thought about all that in years. I'm not usually sentimental.
It's good to look back sometimes.
Is it? I'm not so sure.
A man has dreams of walking with giants to carve his niche in the edifice of time. Before the mortar of his zeal has the chance to congeal, the cup is dashed from his lips, the flame is snuffed a burning. He's brought to rack and ruin in his prime. You know what I think? It's Mary Poppins. From the moment she stepped into this house, things began to happen to me. My world was calm, well-ordered, exemplary. Then came this person with chaos in her wake. And now my life's ambitions go with one fell blow. That's quite a bitter pill to take. It's that Poppins woman. She's responsible for all this.
I know the very person. What's that she's always saying? A spoonful of sugar, that is all it takes. It changes bread in water into tea and cakes. A spoonful of sugar goes a long, long way. So have yourself a healthy helping every day.
A healthy helping of trouble, if you ask me.
It's like you're always saying, Governor. You've got to grind, grind, grind at that grindstone. Though childhood slips like sand through a sieve. And all too soon they've up and grown, and then they've flown. And it's too late for you to give just that spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Well, good luck, Governor.
Thank you, Bert. And good luck to you, too.
Father,
Yes?
we've come to say goodnight.
Ah, yes. Good night.
Daddy, do you remember when we came to the bank?
Yes?
Well, we were each given a sixpence and told to spend them carefully.
Excellent advice. That's exactly what you should do. What did you buy with them?
Nothing yet. We kept them, and now we've decided to give them to you.
I suppose Mary Poppins put you up to this.
No, she hasn't said a word about it, but we really haven't been much help lately.
So we thought a bit of extra cash might loosen things up a little bit.
It's a whole shilling.
Thank you.
Good night. We do love you, you know.
Jane, do you remember you once asked me who Neil's father was?
Yes?
It was Poseidon, king of the sea. Good night.
Mummy, Daddy's really worried, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But always remember that he loves you very much, and that's far more important than jobs or houses or anything else.
Are you going to the bank with him?
I wish he'd let me, but he won't. If only there was someone to speak up for him, to take his part, to show them what he's really like inside.
Why can't he do that for himself?
Because he's a man, and a very proud one. And I can't do it for him, because I'm a woman.
Mary Poppins says anything is possible if we can only get out of our own way.
Do you really believe that, Mary Poppins?
Anything can happen if you let it. Sometimes things are difficult, but you can bet it doesn't have to be so.
Changes can be made.
You can move a mountain if you use a larger spade.
Anything can happen, it's a marvel.
You can be a butterfly or just a larval. Stretch your mind beyond fantastic. Dreams are made of strong elastic.
Take some sound advice and don't forget it. Anything can happen if you let it.
I wonder. Anything can happen if you let it. You won't know a challenge until you've met it.
No one does it for you.
No one but yourself. Vacillating violets get left up on the shelf. Anything can happen, just imagine.
That should be my epitaph. I wear the badge in honor of this world's free thinkers.
Those who see beyond their blinkers.
Jelly isn't jelly
Till you set it. Anything can happen if you let it.
If you reach for the stars, all you get are the stars. But we found a whole new spin. If you reach for the heavens, you get the stars. The round
The buds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, sir. Only tuppence a bag.
I would take it as great favor if you would kindly feed them for me.
Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
Precision and order, paying one's debts, risking our investments, hedging our bets.
Mr. Banks is here.
Come in, Banks.
Dreaming in futures, jobs on the line.
Now, Banks, you turned down a scheme that was bound to make millions, and we want to know why.
Then I'll tell you. I refused Mr. Von Hustler because his scheme was hollow. It had no product, no substance, no meaning beyond the walls of a bank. Oh, yes, he informs me of profits and assets and growth, but there wasn't a word about people. I know if a man places any value on real life, then as far as you're concerned, he's a washout. I'm afraid I do value it, gentlemen. In short, George Banks Esquire has rediscovered the human race. I apologize for ruining the bank, but I do not apologize for understanding that there are more important things in life than making money.
Ruining the bank. Ruining the bank. Ruining the bank. My dear boy, you've saved our bacon. Von Hustler's scheme has ruined our rival. You kept us out of the nastiest scandal since records were kept. We don't want your apologies. We're offering ours.
Oh, my word.
And another thing, do you remember a fellow called Northbrook? Well, he's repaying his loan and opening 2 new factories, and at the percentage you negotiated, was set to make a fortune.
Oh, my word.
Well, that's just it. We'd very well like to know how you did it. Just give us the word. It'll be safe with us.
Give you the word? Give you the word? I'll give you the word, all right. Supercalifragilistic. Expialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it's loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic. Expialidocious. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now, Banks.
Forgive him! It's not his fault. It's all because of his nanny, Miss Andrew.
The Holy Terror! She taught me everything I know.
Then now's your chance to forget it.
That's right. And if you want to fight about it, then you've come to the right woman.
It's all right, darling. It's all right. I haven't lost money at all. I've made the bank a fortune.
Really?
Yes, now, madam, we have some business to discuss. Now, George, Banks, by way of recompense, we'd like to offer you the job of senior manager at double your present rate.
Exactly how much has he made for you?
Triple your present rate. Quadruple your present rate.
Close your mouth, George. We are not a codfish.
Well?
I accept, but you must understand one thing. From now on, my family comes first.
Agreed?
Agreed!
Winifred, I'm afraid I've underestimated you. How can you forgive me?
How can you ask?
It was selfish of me to keep you off stage. You want to go back, and I won't mind if you do.
No, I loved it. But I found a role I'd much rather prefer. It's going to keep me extremely busy for a very long time.
Anything can happen, raise the curtain. Things you thought impossible would soon seem certain. Though at first it may sound clownish, see the world more upside downish. Turn it on its head and pirouette it.
Anything can happen if you let it.
If you reach for the stars, all you get are the stars. But we found a whole new spring. If you reach for the heavens, you get the stars thrown in.
They're the stars. I want the constellations too.
Do you indeed? I wonder you ask for the moon as well.
We found a whole new spring.
to be up there in the heavens. Do you think we'll ever go back there?
Yes, someday.
Really? Will it be soon?
Oh no, not for a very long time. But you can always keep an eye on the stars until you return.
But it's your telescope.
So it is. Keep it if you like, it's a present. Now run along, it's getting cold.
I love you, Mary Poppins.
You are a fine boy, Michael Banks. And one day, you will be a fine man.
It makes me so anxious when you talk like that.
Like what?
Oh, gentle and kind, and not a bit like you. Be cross, Mary Poppins. Do be cross again.
Is that the thanks I get for the trouble I've taken?
That's better.
Now go along. That's dainty, Bert.
They're yours, Mary.
Oh.
I painted them for you. It's tonight, isn't it?
Yes, Bert.
Well, goodbye then.
Goodbye, Bert. Look after yourself. With every jar, when it's complete, there is a sense of bittersweet. That moment when you know the task is done, though in your heart you'd like to stay to help things on their way. You've always known they must do it alone. Practically perfect. And I hope it remains so.
What's happened? Something's changed. The bed's gone.
Oh, it's Mary Poppins' locket. And the chain's broken.
Don't you remember? I'll stay till the chain breaks.
There's a note too. Michael had his telescope, now this is for you. It's a picture of the three of us.
She signed it from Mary Poppins with a good deal of love.
Mary Poppins?
She's gone.
Gone? How peculiar.
She'll be back. Now, what do you think of this?
It's the best I've ever seen.
Could we fly it together?
Oh, Daddy!
Mary Poppins won't be coming back. She's gone forever.
My dear, how could you possibly know such a thing?
Because we don't need her. Not anymore. And other families will, won't they, Daddy?
They will.
I wonder if she's right, George. And we really could do without a nanny from now on. What do you think?
I think you better come and dance with me.
George, this is serious.
Look, wasn't that a shooting star?
You can borrow my telescope.
I was right. Wish on it, children. My dearest love.
Mary Poppins, we'll never forget.